Hello everyone, welcome back to Trivia Fever with your host Priyadarshan. I'm here with another interesting sport, another interesting league, another interesting tournament, and we will get to all of that in just a bit. But I know what you guys might be wondering about. What about the answers for yesterday's questions? Well, I don't think they were that tough. I know you all are smart people out there, and many of you would have cracked the answers pretty easily. But here I am to validate whether your answers were right or wrong. So get ready with your answers. I'll start off with them and let's see how many you got correct. So the first question that I asked you yesterday was which country's national sport is kabaddi? So I think some of you would have had some interesting guesses. The answer is actually it's India's neighboring country. The country we are talking about is Nepal. So that was the first question. Moving on to question number two. Here it is. Many believe Kabaddi was invented by Abhimanyu during the Mahabharata battle at Kurukshetra. This sport name apparently originated in Tamil from a word dash dash that means to hold hands. Moreover, some Indian people claim that the sport itself came from Tamil Nadu. So I wanted you to fill in the blanks with the Tamil word from where the name of the sport has originated. So for those of you who understand Tamil, the answer that we were looking for is Kai Pidi. So Kai means hand and Pidi means to hold. So to hold hands, and that's how the game is played, right? Where all the players stand holding hands and they try to catch one person and get the points for their team. And so we'll move on to our next question. Which Indian city became the first one to hold a kabaddi event in 1995? So the answer for this question is we're traveling a bit east towards India, and that is the city of Calcutta. So that is the answer. Moving on to our penultimate question for yesterday. Here it is. In which Asian Games women's kabaddi was first included? So this was, obviously I told you yesterday itself, it's not the Olympics, I'm talking about the Asian Games. It's in the year 2010 in Guangzhou in China. So that is where first time women's kabaddi was played. And that brings us to our last question. So here it is. Kabaddi is the state sport of 4 states in India. 3 of them are Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, which is the 4th state to have kabaddi as its state sport. So now I know some of you may be confused, but the answer is actually very simple. It's the land of lassi. It's the place in North India. The state that we are talking about is Punjab. So those were the answers for yesterday's questions. I hope you enjoyed them. And today we're going to be talking about something very, very interesting. It's a different sport, and there is a tournament of the sport which is coming up. It's known as the Masters Tournament. So how many of you are able to guess the sport from there? Well, I think some of you are smart enough. Yes, the sport that we are talking about is golf. It's the Augusta Masters Tournament that is going to begin in a few days. Well, this tournament has had an elaborate and a rich history. It started way back in 1934. There have been 83 editions to this tournament, and this being the 84th. Obviously, it's held on the Augusta National Golf Club. That's where it's getting its name from, and which is obviously in the state of Georgia in the United States of America. And the number of bars are 72. The size, it's a humongous, one of the bigger golf clubs, which is almost 7,475 yards. So that is what we are talking about. And the prize fund is $11.5 million. So not at all a small amount. And the last person to win this tournament was Tiger Woods. So that is some brief history for you about that. I'll start off with some questions. Obviously, I'm not giving you the answers today. The answers will be disclosed tomorrow, but you can leave your answers or your guesses in the comments below. I will be looking forward to that. So let's start off with question number 1. Here it goes. Originally trained as a surgeon, he served as a civil physician with the British Army during the Boer War, where he first became aware of the principles of camouflage. He designed more than 50 golf courses, including three, that of Augustus National Golf Club. Which personality are we talking about? And just to help you out, you should be able to see an image of the person right about now. So that was our first question. Moving on to question number 2. Here we go. Masters officials have been known to remove tournament announcers who do not follow club decorum. Famous announcers have been kicked off the air, including Jack Whitaker and Gary McCord. Saying words such as fans or spectators is strictly not allowed. They must be called as dash or dash. So I want you to fill in the blanks with what is the correct terminology which the commentators are allowed to use. And that brings us to question number 3. So here we go. This tradition with respect to members began in 1937, and these were purchased from the New York Brooks Dash Company. Which tradition are we talking about? And also fill in the blanks. So you need to tell me about the tradition and also fill in the blanks. There are 2 answers to this question. I probably give you part points if you get both right. So let's see where your guesses go. And moving on to question number 4. Here it is. You should be able to see 2 images right about now. So now that you had a good look at the images, the question is very simple. I want you to connect these 2 pictures to the Augusta National Golf Club. Give me an overall connect. Moving on to question number 5. Here it is. This is the founder's circle, and this is at the base of the flagpole in front of the clubhouse. You get to see 2 plaques. To honor whom are these 2 plaques erected? And I'll show you an image just to help you out right about now. So I want you to tell me in whose honor is this being done. So moving on to question number 6, here it is. The person we are talking about is Ron Townsend. He was admitted as a member of the Augusta Golf Club in the year 1990. What first was achieved by him? So it's a very interesting answer. If you think a little bit out of the box, you do not need to be a golf fan to know this answer. Just think a little laterally and you will be able to crack it. Moving on to question number 7. So here it is. This plaque is affixed to a drinking fountain between holes 16 and 17. This is in remembrance of the 6-time Masters champion. So I want you to name the golfer, and just to show you what plaque we are talking about, you should be able to see an image right about now. So that brings us to question number 8. Here it is. The person we are talking about is Sam Snead, who won the Masters champion in the year 1949. Now, what was the first thing that was awarded to him as the winner of this tournament? Moving on to question number 9, our last question for today. So here we go. The person is Jack Nicklaus, who won the most Masters tournament wins with 6. The last of his title was won by him in the year 1986. What other unique record does he hold? So that is what I want you to tell me. And that brings us to the end of our 9 questions. I will be looking forward to your answers in the comments below. If you don't know the answers, don't lose hope, don't lose heart. I will be back tomorrow and I will tell you the answers. So you can wait for that. Now, just to give you a brief history or just to give you a few facts about this tournament that is starting up. There is a player known as his name is Gary Player, so obviously he is a golf player. Well, so after every tournament, when the winner is announced, the winner is given a green jacket. Now that is it's a sense of victory, it's a sense of pride, and the winners are supposed to leave their jacket in the golf club itself as a memory of their victory in that particular year. So Gary Player forgot to leave his jacket there and he ended up taking it home, making him the only player whose jacket is not up there even though he had won the tournament. And well, something else if I have to tell you. So there is something known as the Champions Dinner that is there for the members of the Master Club and for those who have won the Master Tournament. And it is hosted on Tuesday of the Masters Week. But do you know who hosts this? This is actually hosted, or this has to be hosted, by the last defending champion. So it's going to be really cool that. And when we started off with the video, I was talking about how Tiger Woods is the defending champion. Well, in the year 1997, Tiger Woods became the youngest player to win a Masters tournament at the age of 21 years, 3 months and 14 days. So he may have had a lot of other problems, but when it comes to his golf, he has always been very professional and he has been a quality player. Now, I told you in the start, this tournament started way back in 1934. So, in the first edition of the tournament, now obviously the inaugural edition will always be a big one, and so it's very important to know the name of the person who won it for the first time. So back in 1934 when this tournament started, the person who won it then was Horton Smith. So Horton Smith was the person who won it for the first time. And that is just some trivia for you. You can look it up. I know golf is a bit of a slow sport, but it is elegant, it's beautiful, and it is just so, you need to be so precise. So I'll be following up with this tournament, seeing who wins, who doesn't win. Because if this year Tiger Woods manages to win the trophy again, then he would have matched the record of Jack Nicklaus with his 6 wins. So it'll be really interesting, and I'm also finding it very interesting reading about all of these things and sharing it with all of you out there. So don't worry, I will be back tomorrow with the answers and also something more interesting for you. So please stay tuned in, be ready. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, please stay safe, take care, good night and keep quizzing.